It is great to be live. I am coming to you from Hagerstown, Maryland. This is Dr. Obidi, if we haven't met, and I am here to chat with my new moms or moms to be. So if you're expecting a baby, or maybe you already have a newborn you're taking care of, well, I am here to chat. Today, we're going to be talking about what no one tells you before the baby comes. We're going to cover a few things that have to do with really what it takes to care for your newborn and care for them confidently. And I have a great announcement at the end in a little bit here that I'm really excited to share with you all. If we haven't met, I am Dr. Obidi. I'm a pediatrician, a board certified pediatrician. I practice out in Hagerstown, Maryland. This is Western Maryland. And I've been practicing for over 2 decades now, cared for over 3,000 kids. It's crazy how time flies. And I absolutely, well, 3,000 newborns. 3,000 newborns in that time period. Definitely thousands and thousands more kids of all ages. But I especially love newborns. I love caring for newborns. I love caring for their moms. I love just being able to provide support. And so it's just a highlight of my day whenever I'm in clinic and I have newborns on my schedule, which is practically every day. So again, Dr. Obidi, pediatrician, and I'm the CEO of Newborn Prep Academy, and that's a education outfit that I put together just to be able to support moms and really enjoy doing the work that we do and creating the content we do around caring for newborns and caring for them confidently. So, what does no one tell you about your newborn before they arrive? What does no one tell you about the baby before the baby comes? There's so many of them, just having cared for thousands of newborns at this point and their moms, I hear it all the time. And one of the things I think that is important to sort of talk about, because everyone talks about the baby, caring for the cute outfits you're going to buy, and talk about the furniture you're buying for your baby, and maybe preparing for your shower. But when it comes to actually caring for the baby, there are a few things that sometimes are not talked about, and one of them is how exhausting those first 2 weeks are going to be. Yes, I said it. How exhausting. It's not the funnest of things, but it's so important because I think that sometimes moms aren't mentally prepared for how exhausting those first few weeks would be, where they sort of just prepare themselves for the lack of sleep, how often your baby is going to be awake. Now, remember, as a newborn, your baby's tummy is so tiny and it's only so much formula it can take. And so, just to feed, they're going to have to wake up frequently. And so, newborns are typically going to be feeding every 2 to 3 hours, and sometimes every 1 to 2 hours if you're breastfeeding and you're cluster feeding during periods of time. Now, if you think about it, there's this whole production to go that you go through, care, starting to feed the baby, you're getting them prepared, getting yourself prepared, you're then trying to latch them on, you eventually latch them on, they feed for 30 to 40 minutes or thereabouts, maybe a little, at least it'd be great to get to 20 minutes, right? Sometimes 20 minutes on each breast. By the time you're done with that feeding, maybe you're almost at an hour. Then you have to take them off. Maybe you burp them. You might have to change them and then settle them down. And before you know it, it's going to be 2 hours to 3 hours and you're back at it again. And so you literally have very little sleep in between. By the way, if you're joining us, go ahead and say hi in the comments. We'll love to stop by later on and say hello. But so I think, like I said, it's really important to talk to moms and let them know that it is going to be challenging those first 2 weeks, and just to be kind of prepared for how they're going to show up during that period. And so it's really important that you think about that, and what sort of support system are you going to have when your baby comes and you're having to wake up every 2 3 hours to feed them, especially if you're breastfeeding, right? And so you're having to do that yourself. Now, if you're formula feeding, that's one of the benefits is you can have a partner help with that process and maybe get some rest. But again, it's really important to prepare for that. So that's one thing that moms aren't necessarily prepared for when it comes to caring for a newborn. Now the other things, hi, it's good to see you guys. Good to see you in the comments there. Now the other thing I want to talk about is also the emotional roller coaster of caring for a newborn, right? And so moms, it's up and down. It can be challenging. Just having a newborn that you feel so responsible for, right? And so that is something else that new moms sometimes may not be completely prepared for. The crying, even as a pediatrician, it was tasking watching my wife and not being able to even if it doesn't matter how much I try to encourage her, it was just tasking emotionally. And so there'll be times she feels she's failing and not doing this correctly, and maybe the baby's not latching well and all of that, right? But eventually we made it through. And so again, just as a new mom or expecting a baby, just knowing that, there's gonna be this roller coaster and it doesn't mean you're abnormal. Every mom goes through this, and that you're going to have the support you need to help you through that period. And preparing for that, do you have a friend that you can call on? Do you have a mom or an aunt that you can call on? A friend, somebody that can be a source of strength during those periods. So that's something else, again, that oftentimes moms aren't prepared to face. The other thing that moms oftentimes don't realize is going to happen when your baby is born is that they're going to lose weight. They're going to lose weight the first few days after delivery, and so that's really important because a lot of times moms end up just blaming themselves when their baby hasn't gained weight the first few days after delivery, and that happens for a reason though. It happens for a reason because your baby comes with extra on board waiting for that period when you're going to produce some milk. So if you're breastfeeding, you can imagine how uncomfortable it will be if you had to carry your breast full of milk throughout the whole pregnancy, right? But as a result, so breast milk production doesn't ramp up until after the baby comes. And so usually your baby comes with a little extra on board so they can get through those first few days. And so they are going to lose weight. That's normal. They can lose up to 10% of their weight if they don't have any medical conditions. And we as pediatricians are okay with that. So that's something else to be prepared for as a new mom when your baby arrives, that you know that they're going to lose some weight, but usually by 7 to 10 days, they are back to their birth weight. And so I say all this because over the years, seeing moms struggle through this initial period with the newborn, especially when they're first time mom, has made me always want to figure out how else I can support them. And so I'm so glad to announce that I am starting a Newborn Prep Academy community for new and expectant moms where they can gather together, have support for one another, where as a pediatrician with lots of experience caring for newborns, I can be in there on hand to provide support when they need it. It's really exciting. I can't wait to, we just got this started. If you look in the links below, I'm going to have the links in the bio. You can click in there for the Newborn Prep Academy community. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is going live once a week in there where moms can just ask any questions they need, any questions they have, provide support. There's also a course on there already that they can sort of learn all the essentials. It's called Baby Prep Essentials Masterclass, where they can learn all the essentials about feeding your baby and sleep training and things about caring for your umbilical cord and a circumcision site if your baby is circumcised. All those basic things that sometimes moms are not sure about are all covered in there. But more importantly, that moms are able to come together and provide support, but still have a trusted pediatrician in the group that they can ask questions of. And so I'm so excited about that. If you're a new mom or you're a mom to be, please check it out. It'll be great. It's for less than 25 cents a day. You can get all the support that will help you through this period. And so really check it out. I can't wait to be there. I'm going to be going live in the group in like another week or so, and it's going to be lots of fun. Well, that's what I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to be back on tomorrow. We'll talk about some more things that have to do with your newborn. If you have questions for me, put them in the chat. I would love to be able to stop by and answer those questions. Again, This is Dr. Obidi of the Newborn Prep Academy, and our practice is out in Hagerstown, Maryland, partners in pediatrics and adult care. Just excited to be able to provide support for our newborns. All right. It's good to see you all. Thank you for all the love in the chat. That is so, so heartwarming. I appreciate you all. Oh, someone asked, sunscreen every day. So that's great. Sunscreen, you can apply sunscreen to your baby when they are 6 months or old and above, right? Now, the American Academy of Dermatologists does say you can apply sunscreen to a baby younger than that, but you have to be kind of careful. And so 6 months is a general recommended age to apply sunscreen for a baby. But it's beautiful and sunny, very in most places right now. It's actually a beautiful day today. It's about 75 or so degrees, 78 degrees. So you just want to make sure your baby has a cover so they're not on that direct sunlight, or they have long clothing to cover them, a hat over their head. And you can take your baby out and get a walk, which is much needed for our moms, right? All right, everyone. It was really great to be out here with you. I appreciate you all. Check out the link in the comments and in the description for our community, the Newborn Prep Academy community. It's gonna be a wonderful place. Send it to your friends who are expecting babies or have a newborn. They will thoroughly thank you for it. All right, guys. See you all. Take care. Bye now.